what's the treat that In the Heights has that makes it different from Hamilton?
I look at this movie and I look at it the same way I look at my neighborhood.
En un barrio called Washington Heights, the streets were made of music.
There's layers of my life to it. It's not autobiographical, but there's so many details that are drawn from my life and Quiara's life that you can't even wrap your head around it. So for me, Heights in a lot of ways is the more personal work, but it's also, I also think at a time when we are emerging from the last administration and we are the fastest growing population in the United States, this giant reminder that we actually are the next American story.
I feel really good about the movie coming out now because I just hugged my mother safely for the first time in over a year. In this movie, people are gathering at Abuela's house, playing chalupa, playing bingo. They're gathering in the back alley to dance on the hottest day because the ACs are broken down. They're gathering in the community pool and having a dance party at the dance club. It will remind us what it's like, because I honestly think we've forgotten to be together in a space with your neighbors, with your friends.
Just imagining, Corey, I know, this whole thing about dancing and singing and at the same time, but your acting is me. Getting that energy there, and keeping the audience in that kind of we're actually putting it all into this, just tell me a little bit about that experience.
It's challenging because you are combining all of these different facets of yourself and who you are, but it's also, as people of color, in our blood to celebrate and to lift and to give all of yourself and to work through and to push through and work hard. And it was fun. It was just a lot of fun. We got to hang out in the Heights, literally, and play. That's what we get to do for a living. And it's just a rewarding experience because we know that at the end of the day, we're giving something back to the communities that gave so much to us and made us who we are. And that's a special feeling.
Definitely. I think that's what makes it just doing a musical this big would have been more than enough of this is going to be insane to do a musical, like Mel said, that's just John dreamt up, so out of this planet huge. But then you compound that with the notion that you're playing stories that you know, and that it's a musical this big about your people, about people of color, that put a lot on the line for us to, and propelled us to give our very best every day.
How was that process of filming this? I'm the first question I asked myself was how did they get to do this in Washington Heights?
We started with doing casting calls in the community, so and online internationally, but we had calls for extras and for dancers out of the community. And going those days, me and Lin went, because Lin and I both live in the neighborhood in Washington Heights, and it was awesome seeing hundreds of our neighbors there, just cheering us on, rooting for the movie, wanting their face to be on that screen too. Then when we get to the actual filming, something that's the same in Philly, en el barrio, just as the same here in Washington Heights, is when you hit those summer days, people will be parking their cars against both ends of the street and just bringing out the kiddie pools and the speakers and make a party out of it. So that was kind of what we did within the Heights, except for we had to do it with actual city permits and, safety equipment and cameras and stuff. But basically we would rope off certain parts of the block for when we needed it. But in the Heights Washington Heights has a very big motorcycle contingent, just on North 2nd Street in North Philly. People will drag race there, and it'll be really loud because of the way they've jacked up their cars. And so we have that too. So we would just hope for the quiet. We would shoot between the motorcycles, that sort of thing. And the neighbors who lived on those blocks, they brought their folding chairs out, because this was summer. This was summer camp. Okay. They would bring their folding chairs out. They brought us coquito. They brought us, little cuchitritos, like tostones or whatever they had made that day. So over the course of, that handful of weeks, it felt like community. It was really fun. We got to know the kids that would hang out and watch. It was so cool filming it in Washington Heights.
The goal is that the next Latino musical doesn't come out in 50 years.
The best days of my life. And I built my little dream, my sueñito. Here, in Washington Heights.
The street lights, we taking a flight to a couple of days in the life for what it's like in Washington.